There we go. There we go. Is this thing on? Doot, doot, doot. Wait, where's my doot, doot, doot? Is this thing on? Testing, testing. One, two, testing. There we go. Okay, so that's working. Let me beef up the font size on the chat so I can see you more than I can see me because I see me all the time. I'm also going to check me out. Oh, interesting. It gives me a little thing where my mic is working. Okay. So I have a little microphone thing there. I can mute myself. Oh, I can share my screen. Interesting. No, I don't know if I want to do that, but I could. Hey, so good day to you, Madame et Monsieur. Heather MC in the house. I got the Heather MC in the house. I love it, Laura Voorhees. Totally pausing decluttering to make a protest poster for tonight. You are decluttering the world of things we don't want, right? So that's good stuff. Penny Myers, hello, nice to see you. Um, yay, yay, good stuff. So check it out. Check it out. Look at I got the new. I've got my new decluttering or not declutter. My destination decluttering cluttered habit tracker. I filled it out this morning, and this is how it starts with one little thing at a time. Now, last month I did pretty well for the most part. I also love how it looked. The fact that I'm turning it into a rainbow, that makes it fun. And look what I did too to also make it fun. I just literally just hit myself in the eye with that. Is I started going kind of off grid and then I said, well, I'll make it intentional. So I started putting the dates. So the next time I do it, maybe I'll do like a little thing. There's some mundane things we need to do in our lives, but who says you can't make it as fun as you can? It's Terrific Tuesday. Well, I like to hear that. I'm glad you're listening at work, Kim. Very cool. I think I'm okay here. And I will tell you right now, I know it is April 1st. I know it is April Fool's Day. I don't like pranks. I don't like stuff like that. I think it's just not fun or funny. So there will be no pranks. This is just a regular day. It's the beginning of a month. So that's why I've got my habit tracker out. I technically did take walk number 1 because I just walked back from yoga. I also had an official stretch and yoga or Pilates thing. So I got that going on. I'm in the midst of drinking water number 1. So I'm doing all right. See? Little pavers, little shavers, little paver. Ooh, Penny. Yeah, up here it's too cold Tuesday. I am telling you, I am so quick to adopt to the warm weather. It was 80 degrees. I know that's unseasonable, but I loved it. We had 80 degrees on Saturday, and yesterday was in like the high 60s. It was delightful. It was delightful. And now it was 40-ish when I woke up, and it was 40 feeling like 28. Well, isn't that just 28 itself? So yeah, we need to be flexible. We need to appreciate what we have when we have it, and then when it goes away, we bundle up. So yeah, but no fun. That's why I'm back to, instead of iced tea, I'm drinking my hot tea. Oh, there we go. Now, Laura Voorhees is using a piece of cardboard to protest the town board continuing a contract for a huge landfill. The poster says, ignoring we the people stinks, and making a garbage can pick at the bottom. I love it. I love it. Because even though we are decluttering, Cory Booker is still filibustering. That's great. Oh, what a blessing. What a blessing. I don't know if I could do that. I might be able to. I'd probably be singing a lot of songs, right? Even though we're decluttering, we are being mindful of what we do, and also where we give the things that we don't want, right? Now, I will say this, I will not declutter shame anybody because I know decluttering is a challenge a lot. However, I will also just be always advocating for donating versus throwing away. I will always be advocating for the feel good feeling of sharing your abundance versus throwing your abundance in a dumpster. Now, sometimes it can't be helped for whatever reason. So know that if you have a choice to do it, I say start sooner rather than later. And it's probably on the playlist because my body's already moving to it. But it's like, take your time, do it right. You can do it, baby. Do it tonight. So you could take your time and do it right with your decluttering and feel good every step of the way along the process. I had a wonderful, I had a consultation with somebody yesterday. So if anybody doesn't know, first, in case there's anybody here I don't know, I know that the TikToks are a lot more people we haven't, friends we haven't met yet, but the YouTube lives are smaller, kind of quality in versus quantity. But with the one-on-one coaching I do, it always starts with just a free Zoom meeting. So we get to know each other. Somebody says, I think I need coaching. And I say, okay, well, tell me what's bugging you. Okay, if it sounds like something I can help you with, I think I'll tell you. And then, are you interested in learning about coaching? So I had a consultation with somebody yesterday who, frankly, I said, you don't need my coaching. You're doing so great along yourselves. But one of the things she was talking about was she was decluttering her mother's house. And I think a lot of us are either going through this, have gone through it, or will go through having to declutter somebody else's stuff. And she was saying that her mother had some really cool clothing from the 60s, kind of like that Jackie O type of, and I'm imagining like a Chanel suit with a little pillbox hat. And she was able to find a vintage clothing store near her that was interested in it. And she felt good bringing in the clothes. The people who got them felt good. The people who got them were so appreciative. Like it was such a feel good feeling. So I say this to you just as an encouragement. And oftentimes you will not know who is going to be the end recipient of the items that you have. But if you have items that you don't want that are still in good working order, clothing, unexpired, unopened foods, stuff that you aren't using but isn't broken, then please start to Google your area and find out places you can donate and connect those things up. It may not be directly to that person, point A to point B, but there are those kind of midway stops where you put it down and it hangs around there and then somebody picks it up, you know? So I am always about that. So while we will need, even as a declutterer, there are things that I do throw away. As a recycler, there are things that I recycle. So while a landfill is necessary in a lot of places, does it need to be where it is? Does it need to be that big? And does it need to be filled with so much stuff that could be going to somebody else? So yay, Laura Voorhees, for knowing what do I want? I want to live in a place that's landfill is different and doing something to get what you want. Now, that being said, what seeds are you going to plant today, April 1st, that may bloom this week to get you decluttered? This hour, for crying out loud, these next 2 hours. All right. This is what we do kind of every day. And this is how we do it, right? Is taking a look at yesterday, noticing oh, it's right here. It's right in front of me. Noticing what you did yesterday, writing it down. What are the good things that happened? The good things that happened, I put an asterisk to remind myself of the good things that happened. I learned, well, this is kind of funny. I learned we are getting a tax refund, and I use the air quotes because it's really that we prepaid too much, but it's nice to get some money back. Oh, there we go. There we go. Louise says, and notice how Louise says, dinner in the crock pot for my grandson in college, banana bread next, and then cookies. If there is any gas left in my tank, I will work on the kitchen table. Now, this is not a shaming thing. This is not a judgment thing. It is a mere observation. And it's cool. Notice how Louise is choosing to spend her time and energy on something that she loves to do. She loves to cook. Look at that. We got dinner in the crock pot, banana bread, and cookies. Now, ain't nothing wrong with spending your time doing the things and your energy on the things that you love to do. Decluttering me would just say, would it make it any easier for you to make any of those things if the kitchen table was not cluttered? But that's just a question. Again, no judgment. But notice we all choose. We all have energy behind our decisions, and some of them are a lot more green light energy than others. You know, green light is yay, leaning forward. This is how I'm going to spend my time. Versus other things are kind of like, well, I guess I could do that. Or red light, kind of again, traffic signal colors. Hell no, don't want to do it. I'm really going to have to get myself going to do that. Ah, there we go. Penny Myers. Penny Myers is doing something that we also talk about. So just be noticing what are the things that draw you towards them and what make it easy to spend your time and energy, and what are the things that are yellow light or red, and if those are things you have to do, how can we change that to be a little bit more green? Maybe it's adding some color or some differences in lines. Maybe it's writing down the good stuff or chunking it down. Oh, there we go. Louise, we'll drive to Durham, New Hampshire when it's all done to go to deliver it and get a hug. I love that. I had an aunt, actually, both of my aunts. I don't know if any of my uncles went to UNH, but two of my aunts went to UNH in Durham. I remember visiting when I was a kid. Now, Penny Myers is saying to herself, how does my body feel? And how can I make it feel better so I can more easily do the things? And Penny says, I just turned on the heater on in my bedroom so I can declutter in there. So notice that you can do something to make yourself feel better physically to make the job ahead of you easier. Now, hey, look who's in the house. Hello, hello. It's Carla Jane. Good morning, y'all. Morning, Carla Jane. How are you doing with your? I can't remember and apologize. You know what? It still is something good to share. I am going to milk your good deeds for a wicked lot. And Carla Jane did some massive decluttering. I would love an update. And so you can share if you choose to share it. We would love to hear it because we are all on Team Carla because of the quantity of decluttering that you have been building your muscle up to then really do a big declutter. So Carla's been working. We were mentioning earlier about decluttering somebody else's stuff, somebody else's home, somebody else's things. And she's been working we've been working together for almost a year. I think we were talking about it in our consultation for one-on-one coaching was of May 1st of last year. And ooh. And so it takes a while to build your muscle, and you can do a little bit at a time. And then sometimes you can get rid of a lot. And sometimes can't get rid of anything, but it's all working towards that. There we go. And here's the thing. So Carla sent me photos, 11 yard bags, not just kitchen garbage bags, yard bags, or we would call them in Massachusetts, yard bags, 11 yard bags of recipe books gone, and over 80 bags of clothing will be out of Carla's mom's house today. And you know why? Because Carla did not give up on herself when she got tired. She didn't, well, actually, she did. She's often running herself, into the ground and then having to pick herself up, even though I say, stop before you get to the empty tank. We all work at a way that works, but look at Carla. That is just so amazing. And it's gonna, you know what? I am so damn proud of you. So yay. And yes, Rome wasn't built in a day. You are amazing. Now, I love it. I also love this idea too of decluttering because I've done this myself. So decluttering the tools you have. Now, Laura Voorhees is making a poster, and she says, in the recent past, I decluttered my Sharpie markers, my Sharpie markers, my markers, and I got rid of the dry ones and the extra ones. So every single market I chose today worked. Now, that to me falls under not just how your things look. How does your home look? How does your home function? And functionality is easy. Easy is I easily know where my Sharpies are. I easily reach for one. I can easily use it because it works well, and I can easily put it away. I'm not kind of trying to figure out which ones work. I did that in one of my declutterings of my ballpoint pens, so much so that I know the exact brand and ballpoint size and ink color of the pens that I love. And I just keep on buying the same ones. And I'm not even tempted to steal one from the bank. So notice that is also part of decluttering, is having a home that functions well for you, that makes things easier. So great. All right. Oh, that's so good. Judy Duke says, I was dropping off the bags of clothes, and my friend asked if I'd want to take it to a lady that could use the clothes. So we went to her house, and she was thrilled. It felt good to help her out. Yeah, your abundance, your clutter may be stuff you don't want. I can guarantee that there's somebody out there on the planet that could benefit from your stuff. Sometimes you will meet that person face to face. Sometimes you will never know them. Oh, yeah, Carla Jane is feeling the feels too. When you are decluttering, especially a massive amount and especially stuff of somebody else's, the feels may come up. Let your love flow like a mountain stream. Let your energy, let your feelings flow out of you. It is a chemical release. Your body, if it wants to cry, let it cry. Let it cry. She says, I cried most all night, and I bet you're wicked tired too. This has been a lot emotionally and physically, so I just bet you're wicked tired as well. And I will today, but it's going to be amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So Tara W is saying, I've been working on my father's house while living here. Okay, awesome. I still have a lot of my things left, but I need to leave for safety reasons. Should I hire someone to remove it? Yeah, if you can. If there's something, first of all, if there's something you find difficult doing or dangerous doing or whatever the situation, get help. There is no nobility in doing something alone if it could be easier done with help. Now, there are certain things you cannot do with other people. And I would say this decision making of if you want it or not is often a solo thing. But if there are things you can get help with, Carla has gotten help all along with her stuff. I know that, Judy Duke says she got a friend with that, you know? And so getting help is you hanging out with me here on one of these free lives. Help is, oh, here's a fun thing, you guys. Help is going to a declutter party. I haven't even sent the email out to the mailing list, so there are thousands of people who do not know this except for you right now. The link is live to the declutter parties for April. I got them all set up yesterday, and my clients knew about it, but the link is live on the secret page. So you're the first people to know about it. If you want to be invited to a declutter party and get your tickets, sign up for the mailing list, destinationdeclutter.com. Okay. And there is nothing wrong with getting help. It just helps you get to the end result sooner. If you do it alone, it will take longer. There are certain places, yes, that only you can decide things, but there are other things that you can. I mean, my brain wants to say pawn it off, but I like to say delegate, right? Because I was a manager. I don't pawn off the stuff I don't want to do. Yes, I do. I delegate, right? Yay. And Laura is saying to Judy Dukes, those good feelings are wonderful. Yay for sharing your abundance. Yeah. And notice, Judy Dukes, just a couple of days ago, you were struggling with some of that stuff and you were getting overwhelmed and you could have stopped, but you chose to just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again, right? You get up the next day and you're like, okay, what am I going to do today? What I can choose to ignore it, or I can do a little bit more. And I am just telling you guys from experience, from coaching, I wish I had learned the skill of recognizing that when I'm overwhelmed, I could do something about it. And also the main skill of quieting down my nervous system, down regulating my nervous system, so that I could then chunk down what I was doing and then actually do it. Boy, I wish I had learned that in my teens and 20s. I didn't. I didn't. The woman who would have taught me that is my mother, and she hasn't learned it, and she's 84. So she's done some awesome things in her life. I'm not besmirching my mom, but what I will say is this is a life skill that you may not have learned yourself. But when you learn it, is you can do something about it, even if something overwhelms you. Sometimes overwhelm creeps up and you don't realize it's there. Other time you know it's coming, and I know myself to start to divert, to turn away from the fire hose. If it seems like too much, I just step aside. I let it keep on doing what it's doing, and I refuse to involve myself. I know it's happening, but there are things in your life that will unknowingly start to overwhelm you, and there are things that are strategic that are supposed to get you worn down and discouraged and not taking action. And I say it is really important to recognize that and to build your skills to get out of overwhelm and into action, because it's the only way you're going to change your life, and it's the only way you're going to change shit you don't like that's happening right now in our country. Now, I'm not going to get all preachy, but I could go in a hot minute. But everything I teach you as far as regulating your nervous system and chunking things down to get into action, every little bit helps. Crap, it doesn't say that on my mug today. It does say, listen to your co-pilot, not your backseat drivers, though. I'm the co-pilot, right? I'm the bus driver right now. You're on the bus. If you don't like it, ring the bell. Feel free to step off. But learning, reminding yourself of the power you have as an individual that nobody can take away, but you can be discouraged in using it, that keeps other people getting to do what they want to do. And have flipped the bird to that for years. Okay, Lady Bandit 78, there we go. Feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed with good stuff. I have a lot of good stuff that's happening that just kind of has come up, bubbling up, and it's been in my head. So what did I do this morning? I came in here because this is my like kind of my little office space. And I have my notebook and my workbook. And I literally wrote it down. Even the good stuff can overwhelm you. I mean, it's like, oh, we have a tax refund coming. Oh, that still means I have to download the thing. I have to sign it. I have to upload for the e-file. And then I get to download this. And I do have to pay that one. Okay, there's all that. And then we're getting stuff done in the basement. We have been waiting to get stuff done in the basement in this house for 20 years. We're making it happen. Last night, we just got the updated estimate. Oh my God, it looks good. Okay, what are the next steps? Are we going to be around? How much is it going to cost? When can they start? Blah, blah, blah. I also got the opportunity to do an unexpected travel to my happy place, Palm Springs, California, to help out a friend. And so it's like, okay, how can I make that happen? So I say this to everybody: overwhelm can be good, it can be bad. The same thing as if it's the same process. The process is the same regardless of where the overwhelm comes from, which is sit down, slow down, quiet down, breathe down, and then write down, and then chunk down. And this is categories. I have 3 categories. I can see it I can right here. I've got taxes, I've got basement or cellar, as we would say in Mass. I would say it is Palm Springs, and I would say, because we leave on Thursday, is pre-Thursday, like travel. What are the things I need to do? I just created 4 columns. Now everything I write down, I will have chunked it down. So Lady Bandit 78, give it a shot. See how that works. Everybody, seriously, I know I sound like a broken record, but you know what? I'm really just a really good record that has a skip in it. But it's a good song because it's reminding you that you can do something to make yourself feel better, even if you're overwhelmed. You know? Hey, there we go. Yay, Carol's Colorful Creations. It must be. Well, maybe it's because, at least where some of us live, there are seasons. Seasons of change, seasons change. And I almost thought of Seasons in the Sun, that sappy song from the 70s. Carol's Colorful Creations just decluttered her bedroom closet and got rid of 2 bags of clothes. Judy Dukes was working on the bedroom and clothing, and so was Carla. I actually put a piece of clothing in this sassy little bag over here here, check this out. It's a good bag. Check this bag out, huh? Isn't that fun? But I'm going to give this bag filled with stuff to the girls in my town, the women in my town who have a vintage store so they can sell it. I love it. Yay. Yay, Lady Bandit got her notebook down, her workbook down and out and using it now. And Judy is using the tools that I'm just offering to you for free. I've used that so much lately in many areas of my life, not just decluttering. Yes, yes, yay. That's why I do it. Not just so your house looks good, but for you to clue into, oh, I can do something. Calming down by deep breathing, writing down, and chunking down. Yes, Judy Dukes. Notice how, the decluttering is a good way to start and practice this, but this is a tool that lather, rinse, repeats. It's a copy and paste. Where can I use this tool somewhere else? And you can use it in a lot of areas of your life. You can use it in work. You can use it in your personal relationships. You can use it for your mental health. You can use it for your physical health. You can use it with your quality of life, really. It really improves your quality of life when you remind yourself, I can do something about this. I can take action, something about this. I wish I knew like American Sign Language, right? But that thing that I don't like, I can do something to change it. There we go. Now, Louise said, I wrote down my destinations and goals yesterday and found I accomplished more. Yes, you will surprise yourself with that. Oh, oh man, Carla Jane's going through the stuff. She burned her monogrammed shirts with my married name last night. Y'all, power is up on the hill, blocking the road, putting up a light on the property. I thought for a second, oh heck, Nag, you're not blocking. Yeah, those clothes in the house today, no. They moved, I scared them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are times when it's ready to let go of that stuff that you just don't want anymore. It is evidence of a life you had. And you don't, here's my thing lately. How many items do I need to remind me of that time in my life? I will never forget until the day I die that I was married prior to this marriage. Do I need all sorts of physical evidence to remind me of that? No, you know? And I will say to you, just offer how many items do you need to remind you of good things and bad things? Now, I only keep the souvenirs of the good stuff. The bad stuff, I just try to turn that down, shrink it down, you know, desaturate it, turn it into fuzzy black and white, shrink down the people. My first husband was short, so that's easy to do. But you can do something to change how you move forward in the world by accentuating the positive and delating. And then yeah. And Carla Jane is from the South. We monogram everything here. Yeah, I got a monogrammed thing. It was a little monogrammed like thing from being in my now ex sister-in-law's wedding. I can't tell you when I decluttered that. For a while there, I felt bad and I had it. Every time I looked at it, I felt bad. Yeah, I guess we are going to afraid we forget our names. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. My name is Carla Jane, right? But seriously, what is something that you have in your house? Let's play I Spy with my little eye. And you may not even spy it in where you are, but you might be able to say it in your brain. What is something that you have in your house when you look at it, you feel like crap? When you look at it and you go, blurg, right? I bet you have stuff like that because clutter is stuff you don't want. Yeah, so I bet you have stuff in your house that you look at it and you go ugh or meh. Now I just want your house and your life filled with yay, aw, yay, cool. So let's just get rid of the stuff that makes you go meh or ugh, blurg, right? Because that's the stuff you don't want. You don't want the stuff that makes you feel bad. Life is too short. There's enough to feel bad. You don't need to add to the pile of feeling bad, right? So notice that. Pardon me. I got to change this because I'm getting distracted and I don't want to be distracted because I want to hang out with you guys. So, in case we haven't met before, just in case, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Why, you ask? Because A, I have loved road trips ever since I learned how to drive. And B, when I realized way later in life that I wanted to, that I could apply the concepts of driving and road tripping to my life and get stuff done by thinking this simple phrase, what would I do if I was behind the wheel of my car? What would I do? You know, would I open the door and let him in? If I was driving past somebody who looked creepy? No. Would I slow down if it really truly looked like somebody needed help? Yeah. So notice what you would do. What would I do in this instance if I were in my car? What would I do? Now, that's also has to do with the energy you have, where you're going, your destination, all sorts of things. You know? There we go. Penny Myers. Penny Myers says, not a memory, but socks. 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 I have way too many socks. Have been dropping off at a homeless shelter and still have so many. So, Penny, this is a wonderful reason. This is the cool thing again about decluttering is I feel a show tune coming on. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to know yourself. How did you get so many socks? Why do you have so many socks? I'm thinking you might have bought some socks and they didn't work out, so you bought more socks, but you still might have kept the socks that didn't like. But I'm just guessing. Learn about yourself. How did this stuff come to your house? When you know how it got in, you might be able to, like, kind of like my husband's trying to get bats out of the garage. You might be able to like close that door on how the things got there. All right, Judy Dukes, you go. You got stuff to do. I'll catch you on the net one. There we go. Yes, Wendy LCM, hells to the yeah. Been decluttering my finances. Yes. Getting rid of items that are just taking money and not improving my life. Yes. What was it the other day? I will say this, if you have issues with money, the more you hang out with your money and you realize that it's nothing to be afraid of, and I've been working on this myself and it definitely is helping, is reminding yourself of what you spend your money on and recognizing when it's not doing what you wanted it to. Like, let's say you signed up for Hulu to watch that one show. And then, of course, they always try to get you on, they just charge you every month because they know that sometimes it's easier for you to just pay the 20 bucks and say, oh, maybe I'll watch something. But if you have been, this is one thing I would suggest everybody declutter, or at least look at what you're subscribed to. Look at what you're subscribed to and ask yourself, why did I subscribe? And does that make sense to me now? I will offer to you, for a number of years, I was a subscriber of a magazine about vintage camper trailers because we own one. Now, do we use it anymore? No. It was a very short lived phase in our life. And for a while there, it was fun to get these magazines. And then I actually wrote articles for this magazine. So I saved those ones with my articles in them. They're around here somewhere. And I just want to offer to you that now, after a while, I was like getting them and it wasn't so fun anymore. So I stopped my subscription. Now, that's a physical subscription of a magazine that came and started to stack up, you know? And that's really cool that Discover Card is actually looking out for you. Penny Myers sends a notification saying, we noticed a new recurring charge. But any of us, all of us, have the ability, if you have a credit card, to look at your statements. If they come on paper, you look at them when they come in the mail. But I highly recommend, even if you get them in the mail, sign up for being able to access them online. I started getting actively involved in this for my mom because my mother did not know her credit card was hacked until I was at her house decluttering some old credit card statements, and I wasn't being nosy. But I noticed, and I just looked to make sure everything was okay, that some errant like scammer had charged $700 worth of flights to Puerto Rico to her credit card. Now I was like, Mom, I know we don't hang out a lot together. Did you go to Puerto Rico? No. And I realized that she and this was still just the paper one. So I said, "Do you look at these things online?" "Oh, I don't know how to do that." So notice that's just being aware of what you have doesn't mean you need to make any changes at all. It just means being aware of the items you have, being aware of where your money is going, just awareness. And then deciding, does this work for me? Do I still want to keep paying that? Yeah, I do. It's worth it to me. Other times you're like, nah, Jan, nah, I don't want to do that anymore. Okay. But you can control these things. You can take charge of your charge card. And I'm not going to shame you into changing your spending habits. I just start with, and I even wouldn't do that, just start with observing your spending habits and owning them. And if you want to change something about it, you can change what bugs you. It may be something you enjoyed in the past. Now it may still be something you enjoy, but it may be different. What is April 1, 2025 you into? And is it the same as it was? I can't remember what tense. Do the things in your life accurately reflect who you are and who you want to be? Or are they evidence of who you used to be? Now, every era of you is awesome. Okay? The past you, present you, future you rocks. And I know that because I don't hang around with monkeys. Okay? except for Davy and Peter and Mickey and Mike. What I will say is love all of the chapters of your life, love every iteration of yourself, but also allow yourself to transform. Evolve is the word I was thinking of, grow, and allow yourself to change. You don't have to be the same person you were 10 or 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, last year. If you're not happy with that, if it's not making you feel good, you can stop it and you can start something else. Yeah. Okay. Wendy LCM talking about, and this is also being on top of things that we can trust that nothing bad is going to happen to us. And I am all about trust. But trust also means being aware of things. Because Wendy is saying one of our cards let a scammer charge $250,000. And they called us when they tried to charge $450,000. We didn't even know we had that unlimited amount. That card is now closed because they allowed that. Yeah. So notice one of the things you can do, you know? Yeah. You can please just be aware of be aware of what's going on. And in that awareness, you can feel trust. Oh, good, nothing bad's happening. Yay. Oh, okay, yay, we got that. Yay, I have money in the bank to pay that bill. It can feel good to be aware. And you can also head something off at the pass immediately. I was going through a credit card statement recently, and I noticed when we were in New York a few weeks ago that we were inadvertently charged twice for the same taxi thing. And so all I needed to do was hit a thing that said dispute this charge, duplicate, whatever, and they've credited us back. So you can do something about that. But yes, love every iteration of yourself. Look back fondly on who you were. Look today fondly with who you are, and look ahead fondly at who you're turning into. And as Carla Jane says, if we don't appreciate who we were, then we can't celebrate the victories of today. Look at how far you have come in your life. Look at all the shit you've been through in your life to get to here. Look at all the good stuff that happened. Think of all the lessons you learned. Think of all the things you did to get you to where you are today. Yay, you're here. You're alive, and the world shines for me today. You know? And so love your every iteration of yourself, past, future, past, present, and future. Okay? And if you look back and feel bad about things, learn from it and do differently today so that your future feels better too. Okay? Now, that's pretty deep stuff. So here, let it absorb. And then we're going to switch gears because Melissa is more on the surface level, which is great. We're at the sentimental, we're at the heartfelt level, and now we're going to paddle our way up to the surface because Melissa is doing the dishes and getting ready to clean out the fridge, and making a to-do list. Now, here's a fun thing. I will share this with you from my own perspective. You guys may remember when I was still on TikTok, I did a couple of videos of me cleaning out our spice cupboard. And it was one of those things where I said, I need to do this more often. And so what I did was I put a reminder on my Google Calendar 6 months ahead to say, go through the spices again. Now, I realized for the most part, our spices haven't changed in 6 months. But you know what I realized that we need to do and this is why Melissa reminded me of this, is to go through the door of sauces, our refrigerator door of sauces. Now, I will admit, I have very simple tastes. I only like the best. I am very simple in what I eat. I like salt, I like butter, I like fried, but my husband loves himself some sauces. And so we have a ton of sauces in the fridge. And sometimes he buys one to try out, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So what I've decided to do is not this week because we like leave in 2 days, but when we get home is going to be just decluttering the sauces to just see what we have and say, yes, I still eat that. Yes, I still eat that. When's the last time we used that? That one's going bad. To just check in. Okay. So I highly recommend maybe that's something you do the first of the month, or, even just a shelf at a time. Last night, without even me prompting, my husband said, because he's like, I think you'll be pleased to know that I am getting rid of this this bottle of sauce, and it still had like 7/8 of it in there. He tried it. He tried it a couple times. He didn't like it, and so we poured it down the thing, scrubbed it out, and put the bottle in the recycle bin. So decluttering can also make it easier for you to just eat food you like because you're not trying to, you know, kind of sort through, or you're not kind of getting through, kind of having to go through all the stuff you don't like to get to what you do like. All right. There we go. Cheryl just used the one sheet of cardstock that I saved yesterday from decluttering a bin. I printed out my April habit tractor. Crazy that this kind of thing makes me so happy. No, that's great. I think that's awesome. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Wendy LCM is saying, talking about decluttering the kitchen. I went through my kitchen and had 4 garbage bags of expired stuff. I wanted to cry for the money wasted. It sat till it expired. Yes. Notice, you guys, many of us were brought up by people who lived through the Great Depression in the 1930s. So we have those people tended to create a pantry, and we need stuff. If we don't, what if there's no money? They tend to grab things because they couldn't trust the banks, they couldn't trust the food was going to be there, so they stocked up on stuff. I consider our COVID 2020 2021 to be the same thing. So during COVID, we may have piled up with food because we didn't know when the next food was going to come. But here's the sad situation: is sometimes when you do that, you're still going out. You're not eating from your storeroom all the time. You're still going out to the grocery store. So if you don't, again, awareness and paying attention. If you do not remind yourself of what you have and make a plan to eat it, you will cry over money wasted because you will not have eaten that food. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So Wendy says, I am okay buying to try it and then tossing it, and I experience the joy from trying it. I love that. But letting it sit and collect dust is depressing. So notice that I have decluttered. My mother's like, oh, here, have this stuff. And it was like spaghetti from like it was 4 years expired. Now, technically, and here's an interesting thing. Technically, it was expired according to things. She's like, oh, it's still good. It's still good. Now, it may be good and it may be gross. It may be harmful. It may not taste good. It may fall apart. But you deserve to eat food that you know is not going to make you sick. You deserve to eat fresh food. So I will say this, everybody, and you don't have to do the whole kitchen or the whole pantry or the whole refrigerator or the whole freezer. Chunk it down, one shelf at a time. And I highly recommend you start at the top shelf, because the food that is in the least convenient place for you to grab, you're probably not grabbing it. So maybe today, because it's the first of the month, maybe one of the things you do is you write down on your habit tracker, go through one shelf of food, and then you have 30 days. You can do just one shelf a day. It doesn't have to be a major declutter, you know? Uh-huh. Yeah. And Wendy is saying, and I agree, I don't think things last like they used to. Expired can really be off in flavor and texture, and it's not worth it. Yes. And here's the creepy thing, too. Things live for a long time because they are preserved. Nature decomposes. Natural stuff rots and breaks down. When it doesn't break down and rot, it's plastic or it's chemicals, right? So notice the difference between those types of things, and it's got stabilizers in it and stuff. Now, shelf stable, things that were meant to last, so that in case of war times or hard times or just convenience, that you could grab it. So notice that even if you have stuff and you've saved it for a long time, the quality may have degraded in it. The natural oils may have turned, that old oil flavor? Ugh. No, you deserve to eat fresh food. Okay. And also, same thing with Melissa is saying, good point. I hope to do that later with my bathroom stuff, focusing on cleaning and have a less stress off day off tomorrow. Yeah. So notice it's the same thing with your lotions and potions and tinctures, that those things may break down, and anything you put near your orifices or your skin, you don't want to get yourself a like, bacteria, to get yourself an infection, or maybe it gets you a burn, or maybe it just looks gross and it crumbles. Things do change throughout the years. Our human bodies are evidence of this. Nothing lasts forever except for maybe Crisco, right? So, noticing that, what can you do so you're not crying over 4 bags of food that is expired? Now, here's what I recommend, okay? This is what we have done. What you're going to notice if you go through your food, you're going to notice that you eat the same things over and over again. That's why you're going to the grocery store. And then, much like your sock drawer, or much like um, your potions and lotions, you use the same things over and over again. So get curious about the things that you don't automatically grab for. And this is what I say. This is how we do it in my house. Make a plan for it. Now, I know every day this week I've opened up the cupboard and I see a can of garbanzo beans looking at me. They're supposed to be good for protein, stuff like that there. Have we eaten them recently? No. I will check the expiration date on them. And I say this to you. If you have stuff that is in within 6 months of an expiration date, 6 months, and you're saying to yourself, I really don't see me eating these garbanzo beans. I really don't. I was being all, I can do it. And then the thought of it, no. 6 months, unopened, not expired. That's the kind of stuff you give to a food pantry, because there could be somebody that tomorrow will be thrilled tomorrow to add those garbanzo beans to their dinner, and they're not expired. Okay. So just think of that. Don't let things go to the very end, hoping, but not eating. If you have things, look at it 6 months from now. Let's do it. April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay. So September 1st or 30th. If anything is going to expire before that, within the next 6 months, why not make up a bag for a food pantry? Okay. Good idea, Melissa. I could make hummus from them. Good idea. And I've heard, okay, Penny is saying baked in a cookie sheet. I love that. Thank you for the ideas. Maybe I will reconsider that. I appreciate that. I'm going to write that down. Cookie sheet, hummus. Awesome. The other thing, too, truly, looking at this from a perspective of abundance, not lack, not the fear of not having it. Notice the fear of not having it caused Wendy to hang on to too much, and then it went bad before she could use it. Now, lack is what is happening right now in many places that we're relying on government money to help feed poor people and food pantries. So think of it more now, more than ever, you sharing your abundance that might go bad. You could share your abundance with people who are scrapping, trying to figure out what to eat for dinner in 2 days from now. Okay. Ooh, Wendy, the air fryer. That's a good one too. Air fry. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So notice. Oh, and actually, Lady Bandit 78, you have my email address. Actually, you all do. It's beth@destinationdecluttered.com. Feel free to send me the recipe. You can just take a picture of it. You don't have to type it out. You could take a picture of it and just send me a picture of it. That would be awesome. But also, you don't have to do that unless you want. But I offer this to you. Notice that, and I'm going to back up a little bit here because so you can see like my body. Oh my God, we got 11 minutes to go. Clutter. Clutter is too much. Clutter is like the visual equivalent of the feeling of overwhelm. It's having too much. Notice how when you have too much stuff, it can feel suffocating. You can feel like you're drowning. You're in over your head. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I have. That's not a good feeling. But we get to that feeling when we don't recognize what our kind of natural set point is. Now, sometimes you only find out your kind of stuff set point by going over it and then saying, oh, this is too much. Let me back it off. It's kind of like, frankly, when you don't realize that you had too many drinks or you ate too much until you feel gross and you're like, oh, I should have stopped, that one beer or that one slice of pizza. I should have stopped before that. You're going to live and hopefully you're going to learn. What I want to offer to you, though, is often many of us have come from a lack situation, an under a starving belly, a fear of hunger that keeps us hanging on to stuff, too much stuff, not just the right amount of food, but the fear of not having it causes too much. And in true times of lack, that can be really helpful. But notice where you have saved stuff so long and never used it that it is just rotted. So notice where you might be able to pair things off, or seriously, just practice shopping in your pantry before you go to the grocery store. Okay? Ooh, I love that. That sounds delicious, Lady Bandit. Num, num, num. And that sounds vegetably healthy too. So I offer this to you. One of the ways you can declutter is use what you have and don't go automatically buy something more if you have something at home. Now, we are in the habit of doing this, and I grill my husband on this all the time. I do, because I am more of a use it up and make do with what we have, especially prior to travel specifically, because I don't want to come home to anything rotting in the groceries in the fridge. My husband, on the other hand, one of his happy places is going to the grocery store. So he's like, I'm just going to go pick up a few things. And I'm like, you better make sure that you eat that because we're leaving on Thursday morning. So between now and Thursday morning, and tonight we're going out with friends. So we really just have Wednesday to eat. Now, notice he and I live in the same house. We have two different feelings of what is okay and what is lack. He's in lack because he's going to the grocery store. I'm thinking we're okay and we will be fine with what we have. He doesn't feel that way, so he wants to go to the store, even though we have food in the cupboards. So it's kind of funny. It's almost like, and my mother makes this joke and she lives alone, but it's like, who bought this food? I bought it, yet I'm not eating it, but part of me thought I wanted it. So notice these funny things that we catch ourselves in. So I just offer this to you. Decluttering is learning about yourself, what you liked, what you like, what you will like. Discovering new things that you may like can bring you joy. I am all about discovering new things. I am also happy with the things that I know I like, and I am cool with the fact that there are certain foods that no matter how many times I eat them, it just doesn't do it for me. Like, for example, Lady Bandit, I just keep on calling people by their names right here. It's like, okay, yellow squash, red bell peppers, red onion, cucumber, tomatoes, Kalamata olives. I wish I was an olive person. I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener. I wish I liked olives. They're so cool. The cool people like the olives, but to me, every time I eat them, there's like a chemical, like, ugh, I just don't like them. My sister's the same way too. So I think it's kind of how you're wired. But all of us are different with these things. So notice the things you like, eat them. Notice the things you don't like, don't buy them. And see, Wendy's like, olives. See, I mean, I pretend to like them when they're in a martini and I'm trying to show off, but do I actively go, olives? No, olives. So learn about yourself. There we go. And Kim K is making a plan. She's writing it down, making a plan, checking it twice. I make our meal plan by listing dinner ideas with what's in the pantry and freezer and put it on the fridge. And then I make a grocery list for ingredients needed to supplement those things, but starting with the core ingredients of something you already own. So notice that works for her. Okay. So making that plan to use the tinctures and lotions in your fridge or in your bathroom, making a plan that I'm going to stop buying face cream until I either use up or throw out the stuff that I have. And you will learn about the face cream you like. And you will not buy the one that smells like roses and old ladies. And you will buy the one that smells like a spa. Or maybe you don't like a smell at all. Learning about yourself. Again, getting to know you and who you are now, and being okay with, yeah, I went through a phase back in the day of really liking things that smelled like vanilla. Now I'm not a vanilla person. I'm good with that. But now I like the smell of insert smell here. This is who I am now. And who knows what delightful smells I may discover in the future, you know? So notice Kim K, since she has made a plan, she's feeling good because she is wasting less food and wasting less food, spending less money because she's not wasting, you know? Funny. Okay, Penny Myers. And this is talk about having a plan but being flexible and laughing at yourself about it. So, about an hour ago when I started this YouTube live, Penny Myers said, I put the heater on in to declutter my bedroom, but then she went to the laundry room to put a load in the washer and have been there ever since. Oh, well, she's accomplishing something. Yes, laugh about it, have some fun with it, and also know now that your bedroom is nice and toasty. So, maybe when I sign off of YouTube live in about 4 minutes, and I hop over to TikTok live, then maybe you're going to be in a nice, cozy, warm bedroom and you'll be able to declutter there. Sound good? Now, maybe you don't have the time. Maybe you have a hard stop at whatever we're calling it, 12 noon Eastern. Make the plan that feels right to you. But what I want to offer is a couple of cool things as I wrap up. In case there's any new people here, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered, just like a road trip. Um, People on the mailing list, you have access to the secret page. The secret page has the list of all of the decluttering parties we're doing in April. There are 7 of them, and they're not all on the weekends, okay? Because I took some requests. I'm taking requests, and I heard you, and wherever I could, I put your request on the calendar. I haven't sent out the email to everybody on the email list. I will before I leave for my trip, but you get a sneak peek because you showed up right now. So go to the secret page and you will see that the tickets are available for the declutter parties. Look at the dates, look at your calendar, make a plan. If it works for you, great. They're awesome. People love them. I love them myself. If none of those dates work for you, note that. And maybe the next time you say, hey, you know why? When I would show up would be this date and this time. Okay. So we got like 3 minutes. Yay. There we go. Penny Myers has got a plan to take at least one bag to donate when you leave the house. Okay. There we go. Luann was trying shallots. I bought shallots and I just hate how my clothes, and my house smells when I cook fresh onions or garlic. I keep trying, but I still can't do it. In the trash they go. Yeah, there's a certain smell. We've been in people's houses when they are cooking, and we leave their houses and our clothes smell like dinner. So we are very mindful of that in our house too. Personally, I love the smell of garlic. Oh, I love it. It means good food is coming. I wish garlic tasted as good as it smells. But notice we're all different in this respect. So I don't like olives, but I like garlic. You say tomato, and I say tomato. You say potato, and I say potato. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. Don't worry, I won't tap dance or sing the whole song. We're all different, but get to know who you are, feel good about it. Don't judge people for being different. Just know that. And then move forward knowing that you don't want shallots in your house. You have now decluttered your cupboard and your kitchen from a smell you don't like and maybe a taste you don't like. Okay? Now, there we go. Yes, garlic over cigarettes. I won't go in someone's house if they are smokers. I agree. And remember back in the day when everybody smoked? Now I'm acutely aware of it. Another smell I don't like, and I'm sure we could list all the smells we don't like. I do not like the smell of cigars. Nope. Stinky winker beans. Don't like it. But there are plenty of smells I do like. I like the smell of a really nice hotel lobby. And I even bought a candle because the smell reminded me of the smell of this really cool hotel we stayed in. So that's a smell I like. So no to things I don't like. Do not even smoke in my house. Do not even smoke on my patio. Actually, they can't smoke on the patio. We don't have a lot of smoker friends. But I do like the smell of a candle that smells like a cool hotel lobby. So I will burn that instead. you know? Thank you, Wendy. Yeah, I get a million. This is how I entertain myself, by using different words to describe different things. Keeps me on my toes, keeps me smiling, hopefully entertains you as well. Now, speaking of entertaining, this show is going to be turning off of channel 5 right now. I'm going to click, click, click the station, and I'm going to get myself onto YouTube, or excuse me, TikTok. So, it has been great hanging out with you. If you need to run, I totally get it. But if you're hanging out with me and you want to do some stuff, just know that we are changing the station over to TikTok, and we're going to do some stuff there. Okay. So, always a pleasure, friends. I know I got to end this thing right now, and I will see you the next time, either on TikTok or YouTube tomorrow. All right.